So I've added vertical supports to kind of hold the scaffold in place. I have an animation showing the gearing, how it's going to move the sensor carriage, making sure that there's clearance between all the different parts. This is all be done in Onshape using the assembly feature. Added an ability to adjust the distance for the lens. Way too much movement here, but it should be able to translate back and forth and then be held into position with a set screw. All we're going to do is just use a very simple nut glued into the top of that support that's holding the lens holder, and then put in a screw, just very gentle pressure. It just needs to hold it in a position a certain distance from the sensor. I've went ahead and added, as you can see, I've added supports to make sure that there's not a lot of wobble side to side with the scaffolding, support above and a support below, and then just built slots in the scaffold to put in nuts so we can tighten it down a little bit. Again, there's no, these just need to hold it together. There's not going to be a lot of stress on these parts. So I say that because I'm worried about tightening it too much or too little, or I have no idea. But for the time being, I'm hoping that there's not a whole lot of stress. And again, just verifying that the movement of the sensor carriage isn't going to get in the way, especially with not the driver gear, but the pendulum gear. We're going to call it that. I don't know what else to call it. We should have a better term for it. The next steps are to finish modeling the NEMA 17 to get the exact dimensions. Right now it's just a 40 by 40 millimeter block, and you can kind of get a sense of the scale of how small this is, because those motors aren't very big and that takes up a lot of space there. The other thing is to add supports to hold onto the STM32 board and the Raspberry Pi. So hopefully that shouldn't take as long as these other things, because there's nothing to animate. There's no fancy dimensions, but that's the next step, and then start printing and integrating.